Well, progress is being made, as always. Just slowly but surely, grinding, bumping and grinding towards our objective. And speaking of bumping and grinding, I've been reacquainting myself with the musical stylings of one R. Kelly. Baby, give me that toot toot, let me give you that beep beep. But please don't give me a task force. We've had two task force reports. One here, I like to draw lines because the contact will fade away eventually. One going 9 knots west northwest. This one now, we just got about 5 hours ago. Arithmetic! Fantastically difficult. Is going west-southwest at a medium pace. It's actually going to cross our path, but we won't probably have to worry about that specific task force because it's pretty far away. But in other progressive news, I guess, there you go. Dun dun dun! Cherbourg, the only town in the world named after Cher, has been liberated. And in fact, I was actually kind of surprised. Layman Radio News says U.S. troops have liberated Cherbourg. I think that the actual news would say something like U.S. troops have utterly defiled or popped a squat on Cherbourg. Cherbourg. I took like 8 years of French. This is totally inexcusable. Cherbourg. Perfect. Nailed it. But yeah, we're making progress, as I said, and nothing is really happening right now. I have us on the surface just for a little while. Neither the surface nor the snorkel are really desirable, but I'm picking not turning on my... Oh, you are adorable. I was just about to say, I'm picking dying on the surface over dying underwater. But we should get under well in time for these two chaps. It looked like there were two lines. Oh! They're boo fighters. Boo fighters. Boo. Go away. These ones are extremely farty in my book. My book of farts. Alright, no. We're not doing the fart sounds again. Well, that's fun. Probably we'll get under well in time. That's actually the first air contact we've had in a while, so, you know, I can deal with that. But like I said, progress. That's what this update is about. We're making it. We're making it happen. And I'm probably going to stay under for a while. And progress more slowly. Oops! That's a bit of a problem right there. Now, again... again, look at these fellows here. They're just flying this way. They're not even interested in us. This is incidental. What are these fellows? Spitfires! Piloted by the stick. Not sure what this is about. I mean, obviously it could just be that they're flying around and they're not using radar, but very peculiar. Very, very interesting. Very interesting tactics that the game is throwing at us. But once again, safe and sound. Getting closer and closer to Maine, which I'm sure will be wicked pissa when we get there. But every time I think of Maine, I think of Pepperidge Farm, remembers. But I don't even know if Pepperidge Farm is in Maine. Farm, excuse me. And I also think of the town Bar Harbor, which is somewhere over here. Sorry to any of the Mainers out there. Oh god, this is just getting offensive. The prolonged use of that accent is going to get me killed. So I'm just going to stop talking now and continue on to our objective. Lobsters. Oh me, oh my. Oh game, you always know how to pick up my spirits. That would be a convoy, and it's heading right for me. So I think I will indulge here. It says 8 knots, so let's mark. Well, actually, it's really mostly the reason I mark out like 80 here to say, oh, it's going 8 knots in case I need it for future reference, is to help me know where threats are and how fast they're going and where we might run into them and so on and so forth. And it's just a thing I do. It's not really that helpful, but, you know, I do it. In this case, we just need to run into these guys at some point. So let's actually look at, I think it's this one. Yes, it is. 8 knots, 15 clicks per hour, per Stunde. So, I do believe that we will lay in a pursuit course. Actually, let's put in 5 hours, which would be 75, thereabouts, a little bit less. There you go. And we will get there probably, oh yes, well in advance. So that's good. I have us on the surface, which you may be crying and screaming and tearing your hair out about, and I understand. But, I don't know. It's just how I do things. Plus the conditions are awful. So, you know, can you blame me? Well, actually, this doesn't help. Being on the surface is not good under these circumstances. So I'm going to progress a little bit on the surface, and once we get to about 2.5 hours away, I'll dive. So that's the game plan here, my friends. So I will hopefully see you in the welcoming bosom of a convoy. We just had a rather significant chug. And so that means the convoy should be showing up any second now, right about now. How about now? There you go. Kind of missed your cue, game, but points for effort, I guess. Warship. What? Oh, actually, what this is, at certain zoom levels, the line here will be kind of abstracted to just represent the general position of the convoy, but then when you get a little closer... Oh, that's another warship. Well, marvelous. That also means that I should probably go silent. Oh, and another warship. What a delight. Ah! Okay. Well, merchant. Well, that's encouraging. At least there is a merchant in this convoy. It's not all destroyers. Although the ratio of destroyers to merchants is so far fairly high, but it looks like this will fill out here. Yeah, there we go. So we're actually in a pretty good position because it looks like there are flanking escorts over here. There's lead escorts that I detected. They're not over here, but because the lines are making it difficult for me to tell for sure, but they're roughly right there. Basically, I think I've mentioned this before, that convoys are kind of structured like in a parallelogram, with the main body of ships inside said parallelogram, and then flanking escorts on either side, lead escorts, and trailing escorts. And even in the late game, I think that there's still like a... Between the flanking escorts and the front escorts, there's still a little nook. Nook, probably not the right word. There's a little crack in the armor there. And so you can angle in. And that's like how I usually attack a convoy. But with this number of escorts, I've been trying to keep track of the number of warships. I think it is safe to say that there's a fucking lot of them. I'm not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that that's an accurate statement. So I think I'm going to keep going on this course. Let's actually lengthen that. Oh, balls. Well, that's okay. But we will eventually, I think, turn... What should we do? Let's look at these lines a little bit. It's a mess. There's nothing really to look at, I'm realizing. It's probably... This is a row here. This is a row here. Yeah, this is definitely a row here. So... I think what I'll do, you know what, let's actually bring it a little bit further to the south, because that way we'll get a little bit mingled into the convoy, and if shit does go south, It's better to be kind of interspersed amongst all the ships because the escorts have a slightly harder time hunting you because they're in traffic. So that might be a good bet. Now with that said, we're going to miss this row of ships here. Relatively certain of that. Let's actually take a listen to these. It's just going to be raucous. A veritable symphony of tonnage. That's scary. Well, that was not really much of a symphony, I guess. I think more of a middle school talent show kind of thing, where you clap politely. Well, we'll keep going into the convoy, I guess, and continue insulting adolescents. There are a ton of warships. I think that there's at least 3 on each side. Saying nothing of what's trailing, and oh my, there is something going very close to us. Right there. I'm assuming that's a flanking escort. He's on a search pattern. What you doing, buddy? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What a dweeb. I think... Okay, he's just getting friendly. I think that was just a fluke. I think that was just coincidental that he decided to dart this way. I hate escorts. Gonna move us to the south. We should think about getting up to periscope depth. It's going to take a little bit of time because shortly before we got into possible firing position here, yeah, the weather was awful, and it still looks like it is. Oh my goodness gracious. Those are some significant waves. So I'm going to wait until we level off to the south. We might miss the opportunity to hit some of these ships here. There's a row right there. Going right behind us, very close. Let's go back to the scope. And I think I'll actually order us to go a little higher. Because I can't see shit. There we go. Oh, okay, hi. Coastal freighter. We are already well acquainted with you. What's that over there? There's something here. But there are too many waves. Hilarious. Oh, that was kind of cheating there. Because when you pause the game, it sharpens the, it gets rid of the blur like that. Cheating again, but that's a tanker. I could tell anyways. So if you want to be a dick and play the game that way, you can do that. I really prefer not to. That's a medium cargo, looks like. With a big convoy like this, though, especially late war, there's going to be some big ships in here, so I don't really want to waste torpedoes on things that are decent targets, but I think we can get some really prime cuts here. Oh, hi, you're just really close. I thought you were a big ship with all that smoke. Okay, well that's awkward. That looks like a victory ship, possibly. I'm just having a hard time seeing. Medium cargo, what's that? Can we get up? It's a victory ship. That's a large merchant, but it's on a bad angle. Yeah, that's a large merchant. Okay, well let's focus on what's over here. starting here. There's that coastal freighter I initially sighted. Get up. That's actually possibly just an intermediate tanker that I've sighted there. Oh, but that's different from the tanker I quote-unquote cheated to see. Well, we're not really going to be able to make a shot here if we can't see anything. Although I'm happy to go ahead and estimate 8 knots as the speed on this. I do need to range these fellas out. And I need you to get out of the way because there's some ships behind you that look a little bit interesting. There you go. That's a... Is that a Chatham or a ceramic? No, that's a Empire. Which is a decent target, but let's... There you go. That's more like it. That's a medium tanker there. And that's a bad belt on a car that you heard in the background. Yeah, medium tanker. Let's lock that in. Oh wait, it says oh, you know what? That is not a medium tanker. That's our favorite friend because of the large mast. That means multiple things, I guess. That is an ammo ship. I think that that's a primary target here. Yep. But let's just keep looking. Now that's another... That's a troop transport there. That is another primary target. But the question is, can we even get shots on these because of the damn weather? Oh, okay, well, you know what? We'll try for these two. I can't see anything else is the problem. So, it's a single mast troop ship, so it could be a, I think it might just be the generic troop ship. Let's look at it. That's it. Well, it's a little bit underwhelming. I was hoping for a larger tanker, but if we hit that ammo ship, that's gonna be explosive because it's right in the name. It's got ammo on it. This is target number 2, actually. If we can, well, ranging these is gonna take forever. Fuck. No, that's target number 1 because that's further away. Let's try to do this. Oh boy. I don't think that that's quite right, but... Should be about like that. Let's go ahead and just plunk in 8 knots. And then, are we still locked? We are, somehow. Not sure how that works. And, oh, we got to do the fat settings. Damn it. I can't tell. Oh, that's our solution line. And also, that's probably better to do it like that, to have the actual speed recorded in there. Fuck. Okay, this is getting a little bit annoying. Okay, tell you what. See, the problem is that when you have a fat torpedo loaded, you have to tell it to do a straight run for a given distance. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually run these straight for... This is gonna balls up my solution here, but... Come on. Where'd you go? It's these damn waves. can't get a lock on anything. Oh, great. And this bumbling ass is going to bumble his ass into my shot. That's actually a large cargo, possibly. So it's like a medium cargo, but fat. That's how I tell the difference. God damn it. Oh, man. This is irritating because I can't take the shot now because that guy's in the way. There. Is that him there? What? Get out of the way. Why won't you let me lock? Well, there you go. That's all I wanted. I just needed to see if my straight run was at all reasonable, and it is. So let's start this shit show going, I guess. Do we want to do magnetics? Impacts are... Oh, man, the waves are so bad. Draft is 9.9. I'm going to have to realign this again because of that. God bless America. Depth. Oh, good. Well, that could have been worse. Let's try this now. Hate how it switches which tube is open. Okay, I'm not too happy with how that went, but we do have a ammo ship somewhere. We also have a big fucking ship in the middle of us and them. Where did it go? Where did it go? Ammo ship. Oh, for the love of Monday Night Football. Where did you go? Oh, hi. Wow, you got over there. That is an interesting development. We're going to have to do this fairly quickly, although he's fairly close to us. Now, we're going due south, and they should be going about due east, so I can relatively easily figure out the AOBs here. Okay, so now let's see. Fats in that tube and that tube, I can deal with that. But again, we have to... For the love of everything. Okay, well that's reasonable again. Let's just keep it like that. Shit. This is not going very well. Oh, and I didn't adjust it down. Trying to do this so that I can notch it forward a little bit. I don't know. None of those. I'm not going to take any more shots. I feel like all four of those are wasted shots because the conditions are so bad. And how am I going to know if these even hit? We can look on the map, but there's so many lines. Oh, God. That's a close ship. In theory, we could launch it at something that close. Not quite that close, maybe. That would be a little bit crazy. But I do crazy. That's one of my specialties. The first torpedo is due. But I think that we're going to have to make do with the shots that we took. That's just a medium cargo. That's not a great target, but we could launch... I don't think it's going to hit regardless, because I am not confident in any of those solutions. Let's keep the scope up, purely because that'll at least let me get the little icons on the map to see if we hit. I'm not confident in any of those shots, though. I don't think that we'll get detected. If I start hearing pinging, I will panic, but... For instance there, that's what we really want to hit. And that looks like it's running sort of slow. Oh, and it went on its leg! Oh my god! Both of those would have hit! What an appalling turn of events! They would have hit in the stern, but that's better than nothing. Those two are not going to hit that. Where's the troop ship? Fuck. We just wasted 4 torpedoes. I ought to have known better. Because heaven forbid that we actually sink something worthwhile in this godforsaken patrol. What was that? One of the torpedoes just detonated. That may not be for any particular reason. Either that or it has run out of fuel. I thought I heard a noise though. There's only 3 here, too. If we did hit, it wasn't the target I intended. I'm going to look on the surface. I don't think I'm going to bother attacking this convoy because the conditions are awful. But we'll take... Oh, fuck. Look at that. It's an escort carrier, but that would have been wonderful to hit. Oh no! Oh wait, no, that's the same troop ship that I targeted. Okay, oh no, that's the same thing I wanted to shoot. It looks different up close, I guess. Well, shucks. Oh man. I'm really disappointed. But I don't think I could have done too much better than that. That torpedo's dead. Two of them just... The second one just apparently ran out of juice. That was probably the one that I saw that was stopped. There should be a couple wandering around stupidly over here. Yep, here we go. Doing their little torpedo dance. Hold me closer, torpedo. No, oh, that one exploded, but it didn't look like there was actually anything in the area. I would account for that being due to the waves. I don't think we actually hit anything. That was so frustrating. There's some good targets in there, but I don't think I can hit them. For basically just because of the weather. I don't think that I can get a good solution on them, and I don't think that my torpedoes are going to function correctly in these waves. I can't set them so that they're shallow, because if I do, they'll breach and they'll almost certainly explode. If I set them too deep, they may not, given the fact that I'm going to get a crappy solution, they may not go off on my intended target, and thus if there's a shallower hull that they go under, they won't hit that either. Also, the magnetics are not reliable with waves like this. I don't think there's anything for it. So mostly I'm just mad at wasting the shots. I should have known better. I want to sink these ships so bad, but there's nothing I can do. I'm powerless, dear viewer! There's the ammo ship. They might be going slower than 8, but I tell you, that one shot, those two that we saw together as a team of failure, looked like it was going to hit this right about here, but then the torpedoes turned to go on their fat routes, and that sucks. Alright, you know what? I'm going to stop wallowing in self-pity, and will conditions improve? Probably not. Not for a while, and we have an appointment to keep. It's really my primary aim, is to go to Portland, so we'll do that. As disappointed as I am, I think that's probably what we're just going to have to do. Okay. Fine. Fine. I'm moving on. I'm going to move on with my life, put this ugly chapter behind me, and start fresh.